So what I ended up doing here is adding the wave in a sort of crisscross fashion around my spiral, and what I was noticing is that it was hard for me to press the wave into the spiral. So since this is going to be blended at the end and be all smooth on the inside anyway, I started to blend them over each other just to help them stick to one another. And I also had to be really careful not to allow the plastic to go in between the coils, because when the plastic comes out, it could then loosen your coils and essentially make your coil pot come apart. And what I'd like to do for the gaps in between the waves is add the circles or balls in between to give it a nice like bumpy texture on the outside. And to do so, I rolled out a coil and I cut my pieces all to be the same size so that they're all even, because I want it that way. If you wanted it to be large and small dots or balls, you know, that is your choice. So I'm just going to really quickly make a bunch of these and add them to the inside of my bowl. And remember, we're creating little tails on them. They're going to look like raindrops. Okay, I'm going to add some slip. Going to score. It's really important to slip and score, especially if you're joining a new piece of clay to an older one or one that was there for a while. If you're combining brand new clay that's still sort of soft, if you just slip it and press them together, they should stick, but you know, it's really hard to score each and every one of these, so you're better off just working fast and using them while they're still moist. So speaking of moist, I need to slip them at least if I'm not going to score it, so they're nice and soft. And then place these in here round side down or pointy side out. So just like that. Whoops. And you're going to see your plastic's going to slip, but just keep fixing it. I'm trying to not allow the plastic to go in between. All the pointy ends of the little balls are sticking up. Okay, and what I would do if I were you is I would blend these together before you move on, because they are very small and you don't want them to fall apart as you're making the rest of your pot. So just make sure it's in the center where you want it to be, and then with either your finger or the clay tool, you could mush these and blend them together. And you just have to remember that you have little round ball textures there. You can, once you've covered the whole bottom, if you wish, you can lift up your plastic to check to see what the surface texture is looking like. But I wouldn't do that unless you had more. Like I should have really just left it in there until I put more clay in these spaces, because it's still very fragile and I don't want it to come apart. So you would continue to fill in the spaces and then build up the walls all the way around. And then at the end, you're going to blend it. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up the rest of it and show you how to blend it at the end.